Right. So market is ever expanding, and I'm sure a lot of people are turning towards short content because they don't have time. And being a technology company yourself, there is always a race for screen time that we call it, because a user have uses his phone for 2 or 3 hours every day, and
Yeah.
up to you how much content or how much the content can you show it to the user. So I'll come to another question. What is your audience demographic? And I mean, what is your ideal audience for, let's say, television for short films? Because I've seen this Shorts TV channel on a lot of platforms, on a lot of DTH platforms on India.
Yeah.
What is your, who is your viewer? Is it a youngster, or is it a 50-year-old man, married man? Who is your viewer?
Okay, well, very, very interesting question. So, and I'm so we when we launched, we thought, and looking at the data that we have from our US market, and because that's by far our biggest market, and our viewer there is a more serious viewer, and I would say 35 and above. In India, it's quite different. Um, or we are getting our viewership from 16 and over, and it's expanding. It is expanding, and it goes right up to 65. And the reason being because there is enough content available to reach out to everyone. And and again, at the expense of repeating myself, because the film is only 15 minutes. People are always dipping in and dipping out, and there is always something or other available for people from various age groups. We also thought initially that we would only appeal to audience from bigger cities, and we were proved wrong. We are getting so much viewership from small town cities because they are appreciating the content that we are bringing from across the globe. There are films from Peru, from Chile, from Iran. They are getting huge amount of viewership because people get a taste of the Iranian culture, or how people live in Peru and what are the stories, and it just gives, and that's why we call ourselves to the global home of shorts, because we bring the best from across the globe and bring it to people. And the great thing about our films is that every film is subtitled in English, so even if you do not understand the language, you would still follow the film. From the viewership point of view, since the film is only 15 to 20 minutes, you can watch it with subtitles, and they're great production quality. So hence, and that's the reason that we are able to penetrate much deeper, and we are quite chuffed about it. Actually, seeing the results.
So would you call yourself a distributor or a content aggregator of shorts? How would you
We are
define yourself?
both. We are both, actually. We are both. We also produce a bit of content at our end as well, where we give, we usually do filmmaker spotlights, and we cover various festivals which were never covered in the past. We have a dedicated team who does that, and then we would travel up and down the country and do that. Obviously, this year it has not been possible, so everything has been virtual. But yeah, to answer your question, we are both. We distribute and we also aggregate.
So in terms of discovering new short films, how does it work? How do you find the new films and the new talent which is out there? I mean, I'm sure there are over 20, 30,000 short films which are made every year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Best of that.
Yeah, so Kunal, I would say that when we launched, it was a challenge. It was a challenge because it's a highly unorganized sector, so very difficult to reach out and then find out. And as you pointed rightly, 20,000 plus short films being made, it's a Herculean task to watch all of them and then pick up the ones which are good. Um, but over the time, I guess we have managed to create a brand where filmmakers are themselves approaching us and reaching out to us with their films. Another thing that we do is we have tie-ups with various festivals. We do our own festival, which is called Best of India Short Film Festival. Just to give you an example, last year we had over 2,500 entries. So that gives us a good base to then go and reach out to those filmmakers and then give them a platform. And the great thing is that we offer filmmakers broadcast deals, so they are able to recover a bit of their investment, and obviously, take their films to a much wider audience as well.
So how do you compete with the biggies in this world? Netflix, Amazon. Netflix has their short form content in terms of web series and all. Amazon has short films. Hotstar is also coming up with a lot of short film catalogs. So how do you compete with them as a standalone short film content only platform? Because they have a
Yeah,
wider variety of content.
of course, of course. So one is that the if you again, it's about discoverability. If you know that an average viewer spends about 20 minutes just to decide upon what he or she wants to watch on Netflix or say on Prime Video, that's the reason that Netflix has now introduced a shuffle button, because they know that people are coming onto the app, not being able to decide, and then just getting out. Okay. The way we do things, we do things slightly differently. If you see that the most widely used short content is actually the music space, because there's no video, but there's audio, and then people are just listening one song to another. And so, to what we're doing is that very soon in India, we would be launching our direct-to-consumer app, which is called Shorts TV Plus. And that app actually gives the viewer, so say for example you watched some movies, a film from animation, and then our artificial intelligence system would pick up animation films, and then they would suggest more. You would say that what's so different, because you when you are watching from the Netflix also does that. But what we do is that Shorts TV Plus gives you now an option to create your own channel. So you can create your own animation channel, you can create your thriller channel, you can create your horror channel. So that means we are very different to Netflix, and because discoverability of content on our platform, it's much simpler. It's much easier. People know that, and the content is laid out very well. We will once it launched, you will see how well it is, how well it is thought of, and thus people can quickly dip in, dip out, watch a film and then go. So Netflix and Prime Video, as you mentioned, they're of course very, very big platforms, and but we are not in that space, because we are targeting completely towards short form content. They have a lot to offer, and I think there's no competition, because it's a totally different medium, I would say so.